recording for those who might want to follow along with this. I know you guys know the drill, but if there are any new coaches watching the recording, every now and then we will get together, and we're going to do this more frequently because I really like how this flows, and just do a guided power hour. So you hear us talk about power hours all the time and working this business in an hour a day. This is how you do that. So I've created a PowerPoint. Share here. It's not anything fancy. I literally just made it. Can you see it?
Yep.
Alrighty. So we're gonna just dive right in. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So for the first 25 minutes, I'm gonna set a timer. You're going to invite. So this does not count if you're following up. That's something that is separate. However, I didn't build that into this. So down the road, especially for those of you who are following this power hour, you're going to invite and follow up separately. So you might have to pull some time from certain aspects of this, and you can maneuver how long you want to do each thing. For example, you'll see that I gave us 10 minutes to draft a post, 15 minutes to go through and engage with your following. We'll get to that. But you could engage with your following for 10 minutes and create a post in 5 minutes. And then that gives you 10 minutes to then go through and follow up with people and stuff like that. So that comes into once you're tracking, which you should really start doing right away. But we will do another training on that. And there are some that are actually already out there. So I'm going to go ahead and set a timer now. This is a sample invite. Just as a side note, remember a few weeks ago or a month ago, or whenever we did it, we did that. We watched that training on creating a VIP group and a VIP membership. If you haven't watched that training, go back and do it. It was so good. This was what I used as my invite once I was ready to launch that, and it had started. And I do want to point out that it did work. I signed 6 coaches in a matter of a few days and hit SC10 with this VIP membership. So definitely something worth giving a try and putting in the effort to organize. But so this is just an example of how I invite. I do what I call the notebook method. There's a training on that. I go through my followers. I view my Instagram as my storefront. So I invite anybody that is watching my stories, following me, or anything like that, regardless of if we've spoken before, because that's just how I view my social media platform. If you're more comfortable with a different method of inviting, do that method. But make sure you're spending the next 25 minutes inviting to your challenge group, to coaching, to whatever it is that you're offering. So timer is started. I'm going to mute myself, and everybody go for it. All right, we are back. So that was 25 minutes. So hopefully you were inviting for that whole time to either challenge group or coaching or whatever the case may be. Now move on to sharing your life. So specifically sharing your coach life. So kind of a behind the scenes thing. Just gonna do this for 3 minutes. Let me reset this. And this is kind of where you wanna make sure that you're using your stories to share something about the business every single day. Even if it's not a call to action to learn more about the business, people who watch your stories more often than not watch them regularly. So you want to make sure that on a regular basis, you're talking about the fact that you are a coach so that people know, so that when you do invite on your stories or you create a call to action post, these people know that they can come to you. You've been sharing this every day and they know that you're going to show up and be consistent. So this is really easy since we're on a call. We can take a boomerang or a picture, whatever, of our Zoom chat, add some little fun things to make it visually appealing, and then tag a location and minimize it really small so people can't see it. So you pinch your 2 fingers together, you can hide it. I really recommend using that in every single one of your stories, tagging your location. And then make sure that you explain or say something about what you're sharing, either in text, if it's like a video, a boomerang or a picture, or if you're gonna do a quick video, make sure you're talking about what you're doing. So I'm gonna stop the share so we can see each other better. And 3 minutes, go. Okay, we are back again. So let's go back to sharing. Did I unmute myself? You can hear me, right? Okay. Sharing, and we are here. Okay, next, 15 minutes. I want you to engage with your existing following. So this is really how you build the relationship. Some people like to build a relationship through conversation, and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't allow yourself to get in this kind of hole of building this relationship for weeks, months at a time. And then when you invite, it still feels a little bit off if that friendship didn't actually form. So I want you to build relationships with the people that you're working with. It's really important to do that. I just want to make sure you do it in a way that is not holding you back and it is moving you forward. So a really good way to do that is to just scroll your news feed. This is when scrolling is done with a purpose and you're doing it with intention. Like the posts, comment on posts, watch stories and reply to stories if something is funny. We do it with each other all the time, right? Like if you put up a post that's funny, we have no problem swiping up and messaging and being like, oh my God, I just died laughing or something like that. You can do that with the people that you're following for your business as well. And that's going to help show them that not only do you want them to watch what you're doing, but you're also watching what they're doing and engaging. So for 15 minutes, go through, like your posts, comment on posts. Don't do anything that isn't genuine. If you don't feel called to leave a comment or you don't have something that's real to say, don't do that. But watch them, respond, comment, like, all that fun stuff. You're going to do that for 15 minutes starting now. Okay, that part is up as well. So we're gonna move on. 10 minutes to draft a post. So super helpful to have some posts kind of ready to go so that when you run into a busy day, you don't have time, you kind of have one as a backlog. But I want you to create one that has a call to action. It doesn't have to be an invite to your challenge group or the business or anything like that, but I want your posts, all of them should have some form of call to action at the end of them to get people to engage with your feed. So you going through and engaging with who you're following is really helpful to help boost eyes on your stuff. But what's going to really help that even more is making sure that people find your content valuable. So Instagram is going to say, oh, this post got a lot of likes, or this post is getting comments, and that's going to help you in terms of the algorithm. So what you want to do is make sure that you make it easy for people to engage with your post. So create a call to action. If you want it to be about your challenge group, great. But if you don't want to, or you're not at that point, or you just did a call to action for your business, then I want you to create a call to action that just asks them to do something. So leave a comment, with your favorite emoji, if something, or ask a question that's really not too personal and not too kind of in depth, but something that's really easy to answer. Just kind of something to get people to go ahead and engage on your page. So let's get going on that. Okay. 10 minutes is up there. We've just got 10 more minutes. And this is something that I added into here because this is a question that I get most, which is how do you grow your following and your network? So if it's something that you're struggling with, it's definitely something that you should build into your power hour. And again, you can play with how much time you're spending on each thing. But in terms of business building activity or income producing activity, you're inviting and growing your network are going to be two of the most important aspects of your power hour. Also, side note, you guys will notice that I didn't build in your workout or your personal development. Those things should not be built into your power hour. They're separate. And that's because you can listen to personal development while you're folding laundry or while you're in the shower or while you're working out. And these are just things that should be part of your day. Your power hour is your business building activity. So to grow your network, spend 10 minutes. If you have more time and this is something that you really want to do, spend 20 minutes, spend 30 minutes doing this, or find one day in your business where you're going to put a real big emphasis on doing this. But find a brand or a hashtag that speaks to your brand to find people to follow. So for example, if you want to say, Target, you really want to connect with women who are obsessed with Target because you're obsessed with Target too. Go to Target's page and look at the people, not just the people following them, look at the accounts that are liking their posts and especially the accounts that are commenting on their posts. This shows you that these people are actually active on their Instagram and not just following a bunch of accounts, but then never really logging on. You want people who are going to be likely to engage with you as well. So you can go through, click on some profiles, see if it's somebody that you think you'd like to work with or become friends with, someone that you could see yourself talking to, and begin to follow them. And then all of a sudden, now that you're following them, the next time you do this power hour, they're going to come up in your feed, and these are going to be people that you're now engaging with as part of your power hour. So for this, I don't want you to worry about following and then liking, commenting, and stuff like that. You certainly can if that's a style that you prefer and that fits into how you're tracking. But what I usually do when I'm growing my network is I find people to follow and I follow, rapid fire follow, because I don't know the percentage exactly, but not everybody is going to follow you back. So the more people that you follow, the more people are going to follow you back. And then there's some apps that you can use, like Cleaner and stuff, maybe once a week to go and unfollow people who didn't follow you back so you don't end up following a million people and kind of having that out of balance. So that's something that you can do weekly using an app that won't take a lot of time.
Do you recommend doing this like every day just on Instagram or like using Captivate?
So Captivate pretty much does this for you. Right. So if you're using Captivate, you could probably spend less time doing this. The only thing that I found with Captivate, and I still use it, but the only thing that I found with Captivate is that you can't look at someone's profile before selecting them.
Yeah, you can.
But well, I guess you're right, you can, but it takes a little, I mean, at least for me, it took a little bit more time.
Right. So that's what I find with Captivate. It's like all the people are in one spot, but like if you like hold their button, if you hold your finger on their icon, then it goes to their page.
Yeah.
And then I go back and then I decide if I want to like I like that it's all streamlined and it's in one spot, but it does take me a long time, but it's still more beneficial than just like clicking through random people. But I haven't figured out whether I should be doing that and kind of getting a stockpile of those people on Captivate versus like doing it like this. I haven't figured out a good system for that.
I think it kind of depends because the thing with Captivate too is you're looking at their followers, which is great, but you're not looking at how active they are on Instagram. And what I've also found with a lot of big accounts like Target, for example, they don't really have, and none of us do, we don't have a way to prevent like robot fake accounts from following us. So even if you didn't buy followers or you're not doing it that way, it's just becoming more of a thing where these like weird random fake accounts start following a bunch of people. So using Captivate, you could end up following a ton of robots. And they might even follow you back, which then when you get to Cleaner, you're not getting rid of those people.
Yeah, I definitely use Captivate. Like I look through all of their profiles before I follow them, which kind of defeats the purpose of Captivate, I guess.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I would say try to do a little bit of both. So,
Right.
on Monday through Friday when you're busy and you have school and you don't necessarily have the time to like look at who commented and go through kind of manually on Instagram, use Captivate. When you have
Right.
a little bit more time on a Saturday or Sunday and you can spend 15, 20 minutes, even if you only end up following 10 more people,
Mm-hmm.
they're likely to be more kind of suited to what you're looking for.
Yeah, I do like Captivate for like stockpiling and then doing it overnight. Like I set it on night mode and it just does it like one every however long it does. So then I can follow like a ton of people overnight and I feel like that's pretty productive.
Yeah, so Captivate is definitely an option to use. I use it, so I don't have
Yeah.
anything negative to say about it. Um, if you have a relatively, especially for anyone watching the recording who's a brand new coach, if you started a brand new page, for example, for your Beachbody business and you don't have any followers yet, Captivate might be, you'd have to be really careful using Captivate and make sure you're using Cleaner regularly because it doesn't look great to be following like 4 times as many people as are following you. So you kind of just want to make sure you keep it balanced. But that brings up a good point. If you're using Captivate, go through and do this same exact thing via Captivate. If you don't have Captivate or you don't want to download the app or whatever your reason is, just do this manually. Find a brand, look for people who are commenting and liking. That suit kind of who you would like to work with and follow them. Or if you're going to use hashtags, search a hashtag and follow people that way. That one takes a little bit more time because you're not going to see like a list of
Mm-hmm.
people. But hashtags definitely work to really hone in on who you're looking for. So it can be a little bit less overwhelming to use a hashtag than a brand. If you're going to use a hashtag, don't use one that has like multi-millions of uses. Find one that's a little bit smaller so that it's more specific to what you're looking for. Okay, I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. All right, that is that. Does everybody feel like this was a productive hour?
I always love when I do it timed, and I need to become more strict with myself when it's just me sitting at home and do it in a timed way, because otherwise it's just like I'm not as focused on the certain groups or whatever.
I'm the same. And obviously, like, the more time that you have, and especially depending on your goals, you're likely going to put in more than an hour, or at least on some days if you have more time. But like, these are the primary things to do to build your business. And then any extra time, that's when it gets to like, okay, let me snap a couple extra photos to have, or let me pre-schedule some posts in my challenge group. Let me get stuff organized. And, you know, like, that kind of stuff is important and it's great. Or like anything extra that you maybe like to do is great. But these are kind of the foundations of actually building your business. And all that stuff should come after and on top. Like, you want to make sure that these actions get done first, no matter what. Wait, Charlotte, you're muted. Oh, okay.
I need to make sure that I include like the engagement and the like following other people in my daily thing. Like, that's the problem. Like, I am focused on like following up and inviting, which are obviously important. And I like takes time in the morning to do my posts, which I need to get better at doing them at night, like, and then just posting in the morning. But I don't like include that in my like designated time that I work the business. And then it's like I'm laying in bed and I'm like, I should follow some people, and I like do it for like 5 minutes and then I go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I need to make that more like of a routine as like part of when I'm working. Like, that's also a part of it.
And I think it goes through phases too, right? So like, if you're in a point now where you're like, okay, I feel like I've talked to all my followers, I need more people, that should be built in to your power hour. But like, for me right now, I've seen a huge growth in followers recently, because also too, as your account grows, it becomes easier to grow it. So it's become easier for me to grow following. So I don't spend as much time growing my following now, because I'm not at a point where I feel like, okay, I've talked to everybody. I feel like I haven't spoken to most people. So you'll go through phases where you're really, really focused on building that network. And then it's time to like, okay, let me make sure that I'm inviting this network and I'm building with this network. So, you know, maybe right now you spend 15 to 20 minutes growing your following. And then a few months down the road, you have this new influx of people following you and engaging on your stuff, then maybe you only spend 5 minutes doing that each day. Or maybe you just focus on it one day a week where you add it into your day. So the power hour structure should be the same for everybody, in that you're giving yourself time to do the things that are going to build your business, but you can readjust those times and you can replace things as well as kind of needed. So like, if you have a ton of extra time one day, or like the other day we had a long car ride, it was like a little bit over an hour to the race and a little bit over an hour back, I was able to draft a ton of posts. So I have all my posts for this whole week done. So now during my power hour, I can replace drafting a post with inviting more, or growing my following, or just being better at engaging on my page. So like, you can kind of fine tune it. But as long as you get those activities in, that part is up to you and your business, really.
Yeah, I feel like I've had the mindset that like the engagement piece and like, I don't know, not necessarily the following, but like engaging in people just like on your feed is like more, I don't know, like secondary. But like, ultimately, if I don't continue to engage in those posts, like, then that's kind of why I feel like I'm at a standstill with not meeting new people. Like, it's just like a mindset shift that like scrolling through and commenting or doing and liking posts, like, I think of it as not being important, and that I can do it if I have time. But like, that's why I feel like I'm not growing.
Yeah. And
so
for
like,
me,
it's just a shift.
Yeah. And that's good. I mean, for me, it's I don't remember what I was just.
But yeah, no, but it depends on where you are. Like you're definitely in a different spot with your following. So it makes sense that it's not quite the same as like where we are.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense, but it's still important for me to do that because, like, especially now with social media, like everybody wants to feel like they really know who they're following and that you're also following them back. But for me, and this is going to be different as well, like I said, my Instagram is my storefront, so I don't have a lot of back and forth conversations with people. I lead with inviting,
Right.
and it's okay to not have that mindset. So it's going to be different, like how you engage and what you do. So for me, the build the relationship is through me engaging on my feed, and then the real relationship comes when we're working together.
Right.
Like I become close friends with people after I've invited them, and then it's not weird to follow up because then we've like built this friendship. But so yeah, so for me, that engaging is really important because that's me building the relationship.
Right. And I feel like that makes total sense. And I think for me, it's just like that engagement piece. Like I don't do that. Like it's in my mind, it's just like that's scrolling my feed and a waste of time, but that's not the case. And I need to build that in.
Yeah, I like that. But do it after you're inviting.
Yeah.
Like prioritize your power hour so that you're doing the most important things first.
Yeah, I always make sure that like I reach out to people that have messaged me like currently before I do follow-ups, because there are times I don't have time to follow up with the people that I'm supposed to from like Teamsy, but like I make sure that I'm not leaving somebody that's like messaged me from a follow-up like more than like, a day. Like so that's my priority number one, and then I go to follow-ups. But yeah, I need to incorporate that for sure.
I like that. And then for anyone watching the recording, oh my gosh, I keep losing thoughts from my brain. No, it lost it. Sorry, guys. If I think of it, I will comment on it. Anything else? Okay. Well, I think it's pretty clear that I need to eat since I can't even remember a thought from 3 seconds ago.
Yeah, I need to eat as well.
So I'm going to go do that. Thank you guys for spending time with me on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Tuesday. All right. Bye, guys.